After looking some video blogs from other INTJs, I think it's time for coming out, because I have a somewhat special combination of character traits. While some of you may think I'm kind of crazy or overweening, I really don't care. If you are a real polymath, prove it to me. But maybe there are others with the same mindset, and this post leads to a better understanding. Please excuse my English, because that is a foreign language for me, and also that I have prepared my text in advance and I'm reading it instead of doing a free speech. So it doesn't wonder that my character type is INTJ, means I'm introverted, visionary, prefer thinking for feeling and planning for being spontaneous. There is quite a lot of material about that, because INTJs are special because they think outside the established order, and there is not much which can stop us bringing those new ideas to life. In my special case, that trait is in a way superheated. INTJs are rare, 2% of the males and only 1% of the females, but about every fourth of them is highly intelligent, means more intelligent than 99% of the population. I'm one of these. I don't know for sure, but my IQ should be in the range between 130 and 140. But intelligence, like measured in IQ tests, is not everything. The theory of multiple intelligences names around 8 branches, depending on the source. My gift, or call it burden, is that I score high in all of them except one, and unfortunately this exception is interpersonal intelligence and way below average. I think of it as a mild form of autism. It's only a rough test, but look at this graph. My next weakest aspects, and these are above average, are naturalists, like your connection to nature, recognizing patterns. In bodily kinesthetic, I found out that I have a natural talent for movement. Rock climbing is a nice example. I'm just handicapped by a lack of strength. That means also a talent for all kinds of handcrafting. For example, I never understood the need for torque wrenches, because you simply feel how much you have to tighten a screw. Visual spatial would be much higher if I would be able to visualize people, which I can't. Abstract things, like to build things in my head, are easy. I never tried to paint, but after looking Bob Ross, it can't be so complicated. But I like to photograph, and with this I mean pictures you can put on a gallery. Verbal linguistic, that depends. As for foreign languages, I lack the talent. English works only because I did a lot of reading. In my native language I like to write, and especially between the lines, and play with the possibilities of language. Intrapersonal is why I do this here, understanding my own personality and how I relate to others and their personality. A few days ago I was in a meeting of sales colleagues, and as far as I could guess, there were mostly STs with the occasional SFs there. It was quite hard to find something to talk about. The only exception was a speaker about how you make your sales more successful, which was definitely an N. While he did his speech, I was sure he is an ENFP. He reminded me of the sermon of a very good priest. But of course I talked with him afterwards, and it looked like he had also prepared his speech in advance, and is not naturally so. I'm quite musical, like having a nearly absolute memory for music, playing piano and church organ, which leaded to some compositions. If you have constantly music in your head, that is not really hard. Logical is what IQ tests measure. It's also logical that I have done my share of programming. It doesn't stop me if I don't have a clue. I wanted a custom-made online calendar, so I did it even if I knew nothing about PHP before. Now I do. The same is true for all kinds of technology. If it's deterministic, it comes to me quite naturally. Nice things on the plus side so far. I see myself as the kind of creator and jack of all trades, because I can do nearly anything I set my mind to. Even if it's hard to accomplish, thanks to the autismic traits, I simply don't stop until I have a working solution. The multiple interests are also known as scanner personality. I try to learn new things constantly and accumulate knowledge, and this like on speed, fueled by the intelligence. For one example, while others are still analyzing the problem, I have usually finished the analyzing and researched the knowledge needed for possible solutions. Even this case is a nice example for how I think. I realized early that I cannot do this in free speech, so I needed a teleprompter. I didn't want to buy one just for this one occasion, so I created one out from some boards, black paint, a tablet computer and a glass pane from the cupboard. Ta-da! Problem solved. It's only very sad that this plus side comes with a price. That means I find it nearly impossible to meet other people which I can connect to on a mutual level. Connecting for the sake of itself doesn't mean much for me. Like other IN introverts, I prefer deep and intense communication. From my point of view, most S-types aren't interested in my visions because they prefer what exists. I also get the impression from various attempts that extroverts are more into connecting with a lot of people and have difficulties to really open up to others. I have no problem telling a lot about myself because I simply don't care, much, what others might think. Less intelligent people have great difficulties to follow my lines of thought. In one word, I am lonely. That is a smaller issue because INTJs are the most independent of all types. But still, I feel that something is missing. I really want to meet an equal or even someone superior, but that is not easy. It's even harder because I'm not a dominant personality. I don't get anything by dominating others. This is true also for possible relationships. As for the reason mentioned before, I'm stuck with someone in the middle between INTJ and INFJ, ranging not too far in both extremes. My best estimations for a match are ranging around 1 hit in 100,000. Much depends on how rare the scanner personality or a jack of all trades is and how it's overlapping with intelligence. As you see, there is only a small chance that this block is seen by someone with similar problems. But there is still hope, and I really would like to make some contact with similar-minded people. While I really need my independence, I also see that there's much to gain from relations, and I don't mind contributing what I can do. So, if you can relate to this, leave a comment. Depending on the result, maybe see you soon.